Hello? Oh, there we go. Good morning. And I don't know about you, but I can't wipe the smile off my face. What a great problem to have. We're bringing in more chairs. So welcome. Welcome to Allen Avenue Unitarian Universalist Church's in-person and online worship. Whether today is your first time here or you've been coming for years, we're so glad you are with us. My name is Ann Packard. My pronouns are she, her, and hers, and I am a member of the Board of Trustees. We are a growing community that transforms lives through the power of love. Our mission calls us to celebrate diversity, encourage spiritual growth, and promote social responsibility while we travel on and care for the earth. Welcome also to those at home who are on Zoom. If you're attending for the first time, please go to our website and fill out the welcome card so we can know more about you. If you're in the sanctuary this morning, we invite you to take this opportunity to silence your cell phones so that you can be fully present. We're so glad you've joined us. After the service, you are welcome to stay for coffee and conversation outside. Those on Zoom can stay and join breakout rooms for conversation and fellowship. And now, let us center our hearts and minds with the ringing of the bell.
Getting to that bell is probably the hardest part of this service. Good morning.
Good morning.
What a gift to be with you, finally. I started work on August 1st, but many of you, this is my first time seeing you in the flesh. It is so good to be together. My name is Reverend Tara. My pronouns are she, her, and they, them. I'm the transitional minister here at Allen Avenue A2U Church, and I am really just thrilled to begin a new year of worshiping and working and having fun together. And how wonderful to begin with members and friends of all ages in the sanctuary. The wiggles and noises that the youngest among us can sometimes bring with them are a joyful reminder of the life and the vibrancy of our faith community, this multi-generational community where all are welcome. So feel free to move or get up and go to the bathroom or whatever you need to do. This is our time together. I'm joined in leadership today by your fabulous religious educator, Emily Jones, and by the wonderful Dale Churchill, your music director, as well as the innumerable people who work behind the scenes to make worship happen. It truly takes a village. And so now I invite you to settle in, to settle your body and open your heart. And hear these words, this call to worship, written by my colleague, the Reverend Gretchen Haley. This is a call for all the people longing for liberation, all who wander too often the desert, not sure of the way forward, too often thirsty and afraid, looking for water. Here is a call to collect ourselves and the hopes we have tucked away, set aside too often for another day. Here, we are building a welcome table that never finds its end, a river that cannot run dry, The waters are always rapid and then still, steady. And then waterfalls. There is nothing holy or perfect or tidy possible in this journey. Abundant life is messy and glorious, filled with risk. This is a call for the diving in with all the dreams of your heart, the struggles, the silliness, the fear, the hunger, the courage, the community, the love. Here, we remember the time for joy is always now. Come, let us worship together. And this morning, Emily will light our chalice for us. The flame of our chalice this morning is a symbol of the warmth and the brightness of our connections. The flame lights our way back here to this place from our separate lives, and it lights our way forward into this new church year of promise and of renewal. And we light a second candle this morning, a candle of community to remember and to honor those who have been and continue to be impacted by the violence of 9/11. May we pledge ourselves anew to the work of peace, which we know is only possible through the work of justice. Let's take a breath together. Amen. And now you're invited to rise in body or in spirit and join us in singing hymn 1007 in your teal hymnal. There's a river flowing in my soul. For those joining us on Zoom today, the words to hymns and to our responsive reading can be found in your order of service.
Yeah, that's a little microphone dance that we do. It's called the Don't Trip Later dance. Are we good on the mic? Okay. Has anyone heard the phrase, "My cup runneth over"? Okay. Well, it comes from the Bible and a passage which, at its heart, is about trust. Basically, it's about having enough. If you were a cup to be filled, you would be overflowing with what you need. Imagine that you are a cup. You are a cup like this one, a human cup. Many of us like to feel filled and fulfilled. Many of us like feeling that we have enough and we are enough. And we like that feeling because we don't always feel filled or fulfilled, right? Things happen in our lives that make our holy selves feel, well, holy. We might feel like all the good stuff that makes us feel whole is leaking out of us. That cup is draining pretty quickly. Oh no. Oh dear. Well, now a hole like that, it can heal, and others around us will be there to fill us back up in time. But another day, we might be walking around with our filled cup, and then, bam, somebody says something that really hurts us. Our soul, our self, feels injured and leaky again. Can you think of some things that make life hard, that might cause you to cry or feel like your cup is running dry? Leaving people behind. Health problems. Financial troubles. Regrets. A death. Mm-hmm. That's a big one. It's a real big, leaky one. So now we have these cups that we imagine are people, and we can see that as we go through life, we become very holy people. Now, holes like cuts on your skin do heal with care and time, but then there are new ones and old ones that come back in a different way. So here we are all together with all these different holes in us. Yet, when we come together, when we hold each other, it's easier to keep our cups, our souls filled. I wonder what happens when we are filled up together. Will we be able to hold on to that which fills us? All these holy, holy souls. We made a lot of holes, but look what happened. It actually is runneth over. This is not a leak. This is our cup running over. This is what it means to be a holy, holy, holy community.
Amen.
Amen.
Didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, and the world can't take it away. This peace I have, the world didn't give it to me. This strength I have, the world didn't give it to me. This strength I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, and the world can't take it away. This love I have, the world didn't give it to me. This love that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This love I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, and the world can't take it away. This pride I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, this pride that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This pride that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, and the world can't take it away. This peace, the world didn't give it to me. This peace, the world didn't give it to me. This peace, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, and the world can't take it away. Go Dale. This joy I have. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, this joy I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. Didn't give it, and the world can't take it away. So I'd just like to say to Reverend Tara, Dale and I have been playing together for over 30 years, in case you think we kind of got to know each other this morning. And we've had other ministers come and go who've said, this is a good singing congregation. Yes.
Amen. Beautiful and so fun. Thank you. So we are a freely gathered, open, and welcoming faith community supported by your contributions. Each week, a third of our offering is given away to a nonprofit organization whose mission aligns with our Unitarian Universalist principles. This month's Share the Plate recipient is Greater Family Promise of Portland, whose mission is to help low-income families and families experiencing homelessness achieve sustainable independence. You can learn more about Family Promise from the blurb in your order of service. Donations can be made now as the basket is passed through the donate button on our website, A2U2.org. Or if you are a member of this congregation, you can make your donation on Breeze. If you give through Breeze, please note if the donation is your pledge or if it's for Share the Plate. You may also mail a check directly to the church. If you're visiting us for the first time this morning, please know that your presence is your gift to us. At this time, our offering will be collected and gratefully received as we enjoy Come Sunday by Duke Ellington.
At this time, I invite you to turn to responsive reading number 729 and your gray hymnal. Readings are in the very back, so 729. I will read the regular text, and you can read the italics. I'll give everybody another couple seconds. You and I and all of us blew about with the winds of summer,
Following the sun in different ways of freedom and play,
finding rest in the cool stillness of shadows and moving to the slow, heat-struck rhythms which turned the long hours of summer night.
now it is time for gathering in. We come together at this time and in this place on the bridge of autumn.
Summer is fading backward into memory, and winter waits in snowy brilliance.
We meet with eagerness and delight, needing one another for sharing.
We have joys and sorrows and hopes to share, questions, things we care about and want to help make better.
Things that we would like to understand, ideas waiting to be heard.
Today we are together in gladness, once more the special community that we call our church.
A community of all ages that sings its songs, tells its thoughts, asks its questions, and searches together with courage and with love. You and I and all of us blew about with the winds of summer, the winds of pandemic, the winds of change. And we've been blowing about for quite some time now. At least I have. Now it is time for gathering in, for coming together at this time and in this place, on the bridge of a new season of ministry, a new school year, a new chapter in the life of this 200-year-old congregation. Now it is time for gathering in. But you might wonder, or you might have wondered at some point over the last few years of upheaval, why church? Why gather? And now with a full plate already, as so many of you do, that I already know about you, why come back? When COVID hit and the doors of churches closed, congregations of every denomination lost members and friends and families who have not come back. Others are trying desperately to re-engage in hopes of going back to the way things were before. And yes, these doors closed, but in closing these doors for a time, you reaffirmed that the church was never about the building. It has always been, and it will always be, about the people. And yes, your settled ministry came to an end earlier than many of you expected, but in reflecting and adjusting and looking to one another for support, as you found your way, you reaffirmed that church was never about the minister. It always has been and always will be about the people, right? And so my answer to this question of why come back, why gather in, is look around. Look around. look at these faces on Zoom and in the sanctuary, stewards of this living tradition. We need one another. We are imperfect people. I already know that about you too, and I am here in that with you. We are full of holes. We need this community, and the world needs the good news of our inclusive and justice-oriented Unitarian Universalist faith. And so now is the time for gathering in on the bridge of this new season. Now is the time for moving forward to that which calls us on, not one step back. We're not going there. But the thing is, we have to be a church that is worth coming back to. A church that serves its members and its friends, that inspires and listens to our children. A church that is relevant, that serves our wider community, that is faithful to our mission. And being this church, that's the hard part. Being this church is hard work. It requires us to get sometimes really uncomfortable, to disagree with one another and stay in relationship. It requires us to talk not about, but to one another, to center the voices and the experiences of those who have been marginalized in our own community, those who have been silenced. It requires us to examine our privilege and our power and own the ways in which we have fallen short. It requires us to dig deep throughout the week as we live Unitarian Universalist values and principles in our lives, not just here on Sundays. That's the easy part, because you don't have to talk. It requires us to ease our grip, our tight white-knuckled grip on individualism, and lean into the communal. It requires respect, trust, and faith. Now, I have been with you good people of Allen Ave for just 6 weeks now. I've been paging through files, paper, and web, unearthing random objects in my office, listening to stories, to hurts, and to dreams. We have laughed together a lot already, and a few tears have been shed. I've been taking note, paying close attention to how you communicate and collaborate with one another, how you take care of each other. And I have barely skimmed the surface. But what I know, what I can say for absolute certain, is that you have what you need within you and around you to take on this hard work, to be this church worth coming back to embrace the transformation it will take to meet this moment, and to meet this moment together. And I can say for certain, you will have a whole lot of fun along the way. For we know that when we stack our cups, though they are full of holes and for some the bottom has been cut right out, our collective cup runneth over. For we know that when we merge our waters, our common basin, once empty, fills to the brim. So let us mingle our waters, friends. Let us come together from many sources and many backgrounds as one church community. I will begin by pouring my water, and some water for those who aren't in the sanctuary this morning, who are joining us on Zoom. Zoom worshipers, you're invited to type into the chat what your water symbolizes, what you bring with you to this new season of shared ministry. And those present here in the sanctuary are invited to come forward as well and pour a small amount of your water into our common basin. As you do so, think about what you bring to this community, to this new season of shared ministry. There is a stool by the table for those of you who might need a boost, and I ask that we be mindful of giving each other space as some of us continue to practice physical distancing. And if you forgot your water this morning or have no idea what we're really doing, we have a pitcher filled up from our church sink just for you. Come, all things are now ready. Our water will be purified in the week to come, and we'll use it throughout the coming church year for rituals and for blessings. So thank you for all that you bring. And now I invite you to rise in body or in spirit and join in singing our closing hymn, number 126, in your gray hymnal, Come Thou Fount of Every Blessing. Hear these words of benediction, adapted from the poet Alice Walker. When you see water in a stream, you say, "This is stream water." When you see water in the river, you say, "This is the water of the river." When you see ocean water, you say, "This is the ocean's water." But actually, water is always only itself and does not belong to any of these containers, though it creates them. And so it is with you. Our worship has ended, and our service begins. Go in peace and stay for coffee. Amen.
Yeah, that helps.
A little bark.